What's up? We're live with HMB Live. I'm Jason Bell, and this is Chris Haddon sitting next to me. Welcome to the show. So HMB Live is brought to you on Facebook Live through a software that we use called Be Live. If this is the first time that you're just chiming in, we do this at 11 a.m. every Tuesday. We talk real estate, we talk marketing, we talk business, we talk finance. And the little joke that we've always had is if we're not talking to you as a group, we're going to be talking to each other separately. So we do have a topic that we're gonna bring up today, and the reason we like to bring up topics is just to kind of keep things interesting and kind of keep things on point and go through it. But if you have any questions along the way, if you want to ask any questions, feel free to do so. Feel free to ask any questions that you have, and happy to answer them, because that's what we do. So let's jump in. So today's topic is social media for real estate investors. Social media for real estate investors. Hopefully you are currently doing some sort of social media. Kind of by the end of the show, you're going to know the 4 social platforms we use the most in our business, and hopefully you'll get some tidbits as well. So social media, and the way that we're going to be talking about it, really applies to anyone. If you're an investor, an agent, or any other professional in the real estate space, you're going to get something from this. Think about way back years ago when websites came out. When a website originally came out, it was obviously super important to have, and it's still super important to have. It was a way that, as a business owner, you could build credibility. You could figure out a way to capture your potential audience and your leads on your website, so you could follow up with them at a later date. And obviously they're still super important, but I would argue that having strong social media profiles are almost more important now. And let me explain what I mean by that. Social media profiles not only can act as a website and do what traditional websites can do, and someone can go and they can go onto Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or wherever, and they can check out your profile and they can learn a little bit about your company, get some more information. But not only do they have to actively look for you, they can just be scrolling through their feed and just stumble across you. And that's why it's so popular. No one's just going to stumble across your website online. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's hard for that to happen. That being said, though, you're on Facebook, you're scrolling through, and all of a sudden you see whatever, Jason Home Buyers or Hard Money Bankers or whatever your real estate brokerages. It doesn't matter. They're scrolling through and they see it. And then maybe they see it on LinkedIn, or maybe they're mutual friends with this. So the cool part about social media is it gives you a lot more flexibility. Someone doesn't just have to go on and try to search for you. You can actually show up in people's feeds and their threads, and that's the powerful thing. There's more people trolling social profiles these days than just doing Google searches.
Yeah, for sure. A couple points there. You mentioned a couple good things I wanted to touch on. One, in general, it makes sense for us to circle back periodically on this very topic. And that's because it changes. It changes quickly. The features of the different platforms, which one's popular, where is your audience's attention going, that evolves over time. And we're on top of this stuff. We like it. We're into it. So we're happy to stay on top of what's going on in social media and give it to you and give you the best knowledge that we have. Another point that you made that I wanted to emphasize is that you're right. Your .com, your website, is not as important as it used to be. And one important tweak that the different social platforms have been making steadily is that they're putting more calls to action right there on your social page. Click to call type stuff, direct messages, of course, has been around for a while. They're inserting forms and other ways for people to contact you without having to go to your website. So there's more of that coming along, which just, I don't know, maybe I call it 50-50 between the importance of your website right now and your social media game. Probably about equal, but it's moving in that direction.
Yeah. Hey, it's a powerful thing. I mean, we're all glued to our phones, so we need to, some of the social platforms we're about to talk about, we know that people are there and they're more readily available there and kind of scrolling every day than kind of searching. So let's jump into Facebook. Obviously, Facebook's super important. It's probably the most important for the real estate investing industry, just based on the target demographics and the age brackets that's on Facebook. Think about what people use Facebook for. They use Facebook for daily viewing to stay up to date with friends and maybe businesses that they follow. Anyone that they pretty much follow, they use Facebook and they scroll through it. Now, the interesting thing about Facebook is either someone's going to your page or they're scrolling through it. And if they miss you, they miss you. So you obviously want to be as proactive as you can to make sure you get in that feed, and you do what you can to make sure you're in the feed of your potential clients so they don't. Now, this can be through posts, this can be through videos, this could be through events, photo albums, whatever creative stuff you want to add to that. We like to do everything. When we're doing an event, we post an event. When we have popular picture outings that we did, we're going to put pictures and we're going to put videos, or if it's a post. So we utilize our different content pieces mapped to whatever works best for that particular content piece. And a big thing to just keep in mind with Facebook, and why we like to post regularly several times a day, is, I don't exactly know the exact stat, but only about 10% of our posts show up in the majority of people's feeds. Now, if they're active on our page, every post may show up. But just for somebody who's not active, they may only show up on 10% of the feeds. So, we want to post,
I can't hear you right now. What's that? I don't know. I can just hear you through the wall, not through the computer. Can you hear me through here? Okay. Well, touching on that point, one important distinction that Facebook makes that you mentioned there is that there's a difference between a personal page and a business page. And the audience from a business page is only going to see 10, 20% of what's going on. Maybe 20% is even generous nowadays, because Facebook wants companies to pay for advertising. So in order for your business page posts to do that, you're either going to have to just accept that only 10 or 20% see your stuff, or you're going to have to pay to promote it, to boost it, as they call it. So a lot of people, depending on the size of your operation and everything else, you might get a lot better results using your personal page, just mixing in business stuff at the right clip. Like, obviously don't just spam your news feed and, throw nothing but business posts out there. Definitely, use it for its intended purpose of a personal page, which is your personal life and your photos and family stuff, everything else. But you can absolutely mix in some business stuff that is going to show to a lot more people. For example, we do most of our stuff through our business page. That's where most of our content is going. That's where we're getting most of our interaction. We have a decent size following, so it's okay. But a lot of real estate investors in our circle, the people who come to our meetup that we're friends with and everything else, they are constantly interacting through their personal pages on Facebook. They do deals there. They show people what's going on. They pick up buyers for wholesales, all kinds of different stuff. And they're friends and they're joking around. And they have a really good interaction on Facebook for real estate investing using their personal pages. So that's something to take a look at.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you hear me now or no?
Yes.
Yeah, my mic's back up.
You're back.
Cool. Yeah, so we just talked about kind of some tips related to Facebook. If you're just chiming in, this is the HMB Live show. We do it on Facebook Live at 11 a.m. every Tuesday. We talk business, finance, real estate, marketing. Today we're talking about social media marketing, specifically social media for real estate professionals. We dove in and we talked a little bit about Facebook. We're going to dive in to LinkedIn in a second. If you do have any questions, feel free to comment below, though, and we're happy to answer them. So just FYI, as we go through these, we're going through the order that we have probably close to the most success on, or at least things that real estate pros should be on. Think about LinkedIn. Think about what you use LinkedIn for. It's a little bit more company related. Maybe it's a way to find employees. Maybe it's a way to find other professionals that you're interested in finding, more maybe business to business instead of business to consumers. If you're a real estate investor looking to buy a house from a distressed seller, LinkedIn may not be the best option. But it may be the best option to find a buyer who wants to buy a property. Why not, if you're a wholesaler, go on LinkedIn and find everyone who has a real estate investment company or home buying company and use that and scrape all those businesses to send email or direct snail mail to in order to potentially find buyers. Go ahead.
Yeah, a couple comments just in general on LinkedIn, because I do over time, like my opinion on LinkedIn evolves, and a lot of that has to do with how much interactions coming and views of posts and comments and stuff like that, which right now I wouldn't say is huge. I think there has been a ton of interaction in terms of connection requests flooding in. That's been really high recently, and it's good for that. But here's one thing you can definitely use LinkedIn for, no matter what you're doing in real estate. Have a nice built out profile with connections and your history and where you went to school and everything else, and your website, because people go there to just check your background. Even if you're not going to find target clients there, if you find target clients somewhere else, there's a very good chance they're going to go look you up on LinkedIn to see how legit you are.
Yeah, all good. Very good point. Very good point. It's straight credibility. Mm-hmm. Straight credibility.
It's your online resume. So
yeah,
and make it
good. And we do a fair amount of content, article, and posting on LinkedIn, and we actually get a lot of good results, and we get a good amount of eyeballs on that from the right people. The quality of people that we target on LinkedIn seems to be really good for our doing. All right, so let's jump into Instagram. Instagram is kind of a new fan favorite, newer platform. Yeah. To be honest with you, I didn't know much about it until recently. We had our content manager in our office, and then Chris, and some other marketing people doing the majority of the posting on behalf of HMB. But it kind of finally hit with me that there's a lot of people on Instagram. I did a few posts, I did a few Insta stories, and I realized we were getting a lot of eyeballs, and we were missing out if we weren't taking it seriously. So it's obviously super powerful with straight images and videos. So images, videos, stories. I kind of skipped over the days of Snapchat. I never had a Snapchat account, and I guess right now I don't need one anymore. So it worked out fine, and now I just use Instagram.
Yeah. So Instagram, because they're owned by Facebook, is they put the clamps on Snapchat's growth after Snapchat refused that $3 billion offer to be acquired by Facebook. So Facebook just made their own and worked it into Instagram in terms of Instagram stories. And we'll talk about that in a second. But before we get to Instagram stories, just a straight post and feed on Instagram. An important distinction, I'm going to throw a couple stats at you from our own experience that you should find, pretty serious. First, Instagram doesn't distinguish between a personal page and a business page. It's all the same. It's just a page. So you are going to show in the feed of anybody who follows you. You're going to be there. Not 50% or 40%, all of them. If they post, you're in the feed. That's how Instagram works, at least currently. So we have roughly 10 times the followers on Facebook than we do on Instagram. But in terms of likes on our posts, we get 10 times more on Instagram than we do on Facebook, which is crazy. And that, for that reason, is just how they're showing the stuff to the people who follow you. So we get 10 times the engagement on Instagram, which is pretty nuts, with 10% of the followers.
Yeah, all good. And while I'm talking right now, we might as well do an Insta story because that's what we do.
Yeah.
Oh man, and I'm still getting used to it. What do I do? Oh, live? No, not live. Although we could do live, and
we could do live. Instagram Live's another thing.
What's up, Instagram? Doing a. Damn it, didn't work. Sorry.
I'll talk about Instagram stories for a second, apart from the original Instagram product. So like I was saying, Facebook wanted to make their own Snapchat type of thing since Snapchat didn't allow it, bought by Facebook. So this too is getting a ton of engagement. In case you aren't familiar with it, it sits right at the top of Instagram. The people who you follow, you can scroll across on the top and see their stories. And these are temporary things that are up there for 24 hours and disappear. So they come and they go. It's not there forever. So, here we go with the Instagram story right now. But that being said, they're getting a ton of love. Yeah, and it's that easy. It's probably the easiest kind of content to produce and share of any platform. It's the same as Snapchat, same process, but super, super easy. You'll see that you get a lot of eyeballs there. And they even allow calls to action once you get to a larger account size. So yeah, Instagram stories is probably the hottest platform right now in all of social media.
Yep. And I'm posting, done, next, your story to all, send, boom, done. I just did a content piece while we're doing while we're talking about a content piece.
I like it. Very meta.
Pretty easy. Pretty easy. No, it's and it's kind of a fun platform too. The other thing I really like about Instagram, and I don't know if you just brought this up, if you did, sorry, but a lot of stuff that we do on Facebook also pushes to Instagram, including a lot of our paid advertisements. So we write, we might do a paid post, a promoted post, or an ad, and then it pushes to Instagram as well. And then also sometimes your Instagram feed pushes to Facebook. So they go back and forth. So what's not great about that, in order to kind of kill two birds with one stone. So that's important. Have we done any Insta paid stuff yet besides the stuff through Facebook?
I don't believe so. I think just through the Facebook ads platform, we've done that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So if you're just chiming in, we got one more social media for real estate investors, real estate professionals platform we're going to talk about. But we talked about Facebook. We talked about LinkedIn. We talked about Instagram. Make sure you are doing social media. It is so important. If not, you need to rewatch this entire video broadcast that we talked about of the reason it's important, and probably more important than your website right now. And if you're just chiming in and you have any questions, feel free to ask any questions that you have. Just comment below if you want to be on the show. Here is a little bit link right here. Cool. All right, so let's jump in on Twitter. What's Twitter known for? Well, Twitter's typically known for kind of like a news feed. You check your news, check quick snippets of what's going on. We obviously use Twitter we do a lot of stuff on Twitter just like we do everywhere else. We have a data or a content piece that we create, and we repurpose it to the best purpose for that particular platform.
Yeah. So the Twitter isn't what it used to be, but it's very much still alive. And people like, politics and all that stuff, and business people, they put their official statements on Twitter. Twitter is still very relevant, and it gets plenty of eyeballs. I don't think it gets a ton of interaction, at least not like it used to, but it's still very much relevant. It's part of our content game now. And for anyone who's hoping to get more eyeballs on their stuff, I would definitely recommend staying with Twitter.
Yeah, and keep in mind, doing the content's the high-level stuff anyways. After you have the content done, you might as well share it with everyone you're going to get an eyeball from. And if you want to go back to either some Private Money Minutes that we've done in the past or the HMB podcast that we've done in the past, we always talk about content and eyeballs, and every eyeball counts. Every eyeball counts. It doesn't matter if it's one person watching your show, 20, 30, 40, 50. As you grow and you create content and following, it'll get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, but everyone counts. You never know who that person is that's gaining knowledge from that. Don't expect to be Gary Vee or Tim Ferriss or Mark Cuban or someone who's getting hundreds of thousands or millions of likes and views and things like that. It doesn't matter. That's great if that happens. But number one, in the real estate investing or real estate professional world, it's a small niche to begin with. So there's only so many of them. So many people out there watching. Everyone counts. So that's kind of a good proactive action statement of make sure you're doing content, make sure you're putting it out there on all the social media platforms and doing it on a consistent, regular basis. And I guess what we'll do is we'll leave you with one consistency hack that we use. So we try to post 2 to 3 times a day per platform. That being said, you start with one a week. That's important. But if you want to step that up a little bit and do one a day, I'm going to give you a kind of an easy hack to follow. So try to create content pieces based off of themes. So like, for instance, on Monday, maybe you do a 1-minute snippet video, and that's your Monday post. So just do those every Monday, and that's it. Tuesday, maybe create like a meme or like an interesting quote or a before and after pic of a house you did. right? That's your Tuesday. Wednesday, who knows? Do a quote, testimonial. Thursday we do Throwback Thursday, so a past post, and then Friday we do behind the scenes, so you have like a look in of what's going on. Now the interesting part of what I talked about, number one, you just follow that theme and you keep it easy. So it's like, oh, cool, it's Monday. Okay, I got to do this Monday, and you do it. But one thing that I don't know if you grasped, like, was half of the posts or two of the 5 posts are actually throwback posts or something that was done in the past that you archived. So you only really have to come up with a few pieces of content because you already have repurposed content that you can go over and over and over. If you remember what Chris and I were talking about earlier, only 10 to 20% of some of your posts are getting showed up in some of your viewers' feeds anyways. So it's okay to repost the same things over and over and over, as long as it's still relevant, obviously. So the important part is make sure you're in front of your audience as much as possible.
Good deal. Good stuff. And of course, we will check in the future on the same topic because things will change and people's attention will go elsewhere to different platforms, and the functionality of each will evolve over time. So we'll make sure that we stay on top of it and give you the best stuff we got.
Cool. Well, hopefully you guys found this segment of the HMB live show helpful. We had a lot of fun doing it. What we'll do is, moving forward, we will post this a little bit ahead of time, just so if you have any questions along the way, you can ask questions and then we can answer them live on the show. But we do the show 11 a.m. every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Hopefully you can make it next week, Tuesday, 11 a.m. If you have any comments, questions, reach out on any of our platforms that we have, and our content manager is always looking for your questions so we can answer them live on the show. Until next time.